experience at Wofford has been overall a good one, but it's been like really good, but it's also been difficult handling academics and athletics at the same time. It takes a lot of time management, which
both good and bad. Like the good, meeting people, having fun, getting a good education. Like I know that down the line it's going to pay off being at Wofford. Some things that I'm not so happy about is just there's so much like control, stereotypes control everything, just who you could talk to, who you could hang out with. One day I might see somebody, you know, walking across campus and I'll say, hey, the next time they're with a certain group of people, they won't even acknowledge me.
They gonna wait for all the other frats to have a full time. And then try to throw a party. I was like, it was like, why they? It was like, ain't nobody gonna be here. I was like, something like that. They gotta throw it when ain't nobody other frats here.
Apparently, you're supposed to throw down.
Really affects your social life. I mean, you have so much schoolwork to do, and you're trying to make sure you get it all done because you want to play sports, but with sports, you devote so much time to trying to be the best you can be. So with doing both, you don't really have time to do anything else, and the time that you do have, you have to try to make the best of it. And then that's when you get in trouble trying to make the best of that little bit of time.
For me, I try not to let being an athlete affect my social life. I've never really been that type of person to always associate myself around athletes. I like to talk to like even regular students like Jonathan Franklin. I hang out with him a lot, and Garrett and all those people. But a lot of times you find yourself always with athletes, even if you try not to be. Like at Burwell, you have the basketball tables, the football tables, the baseball tables. And then you have like the regular students like mingled in. So it affects you even if you try not to let it affect you. But you just have to make a conscious effort to try to branch out from just being an athlete and hanging out with the athlete.
Do it for the vibe, bro.
Hey, I did it for the vibe this morning, bro. Hey, I walked in Daniel building, right? He was like,
oh, yeah. I was like, I had him on snap. I was like, dude walking up all cool. And he walks up, he's like, right in front of me, he's like,
it's a lot harder with the sports, trying to go 2-3 hours a day, going to practice, and then get out of practice at 8 o'clock, and then you eat. By that time it's 9:30. Now they're telling you got 4 hours of homework to do. You don't want to sit there and do 4 hours of homework. You want to go to sleep, take a shower, and go to sleep. And I would say so. Playing that sport makes it a lot harder. Then you got meeting times during the day. But if you want to go meet with a professor, you got to schedule that around you meeting with your coaches. So it just makes things a lot harder playing football and then trying to be on top of your grades.
It's really difficult managing academics and athletics because the main reason I'm here is to get an education, but if I didn't play basketball, it'd probably be a lot more expensive. And so along with putting in the work for my schoolwork and stuff, I also have to put in the work on the court so I can improve and I guess keep my scholarship. So it's really difficult.
Oh, because you're behind me. I'm supposed to wait.
Saturday morning, and we out here in the rain. That's on you.
Hey, Mom, drop them off. Tell them I need more.
Me personally, it doesn't because the group of people I hang out with, are basketball, or are the basketball players. Whether they're black, white, Asian, they're all basketball players. So I guess race doesn't really have anything to do with it for me.
I can just be walking down the sidewalk and people can look at me and try to move over to the side, or they just act like they're scared of me. There's been a time when me and two other guys was getting on the elevator, and two white girls were getting on the elevator. The elevator came down, the bell rung, the door opened. The white girls looked at us and said, you know what, let's just take the stairs. And they took the stairs instead of getting on the elevator with us. So I think it does have a effect. I think people try to avoid it, but I think it actually does have an effect on our social life very well.
Even though it shouldn't, I feel like it does, because you have the student athletes for one, and that's mostly, for me, African Americans, because of the sport that I play, basketball. Even though there are white females and males on the basketball teams, but out of athletics, you have like your Greek cliques, and then for that there is not a lot of African Americans in those particular sororities and fraternities at Wofford. So I feel like it splits us up.
My school back at home is completely different than the way this school is. You know, I'm just the person I am. I grew up with white people at home, mostly around white people. Most of my friends were white, and I mean, it's never been a problem. And now being here, being in the South, it's so much different. Like, I see people actually look at me just differently, just how they're actually looking at me than when I'm back home. Like, people are just so much more friendly and inviting, and you can definitely see that people put a certain whole identity to you as soon as they see the color of your skin without knowing anything else about you.
I would say sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. I mean, it's not a perfect society, so you got some people who, I mean, I want to say like primitive mindset, but they do have an older mindset as far as like racial identity in the community. I mean, some people aren't really comfortable around, like, I guess other races, you know, other friendships like that. But you got some people who don't care, you know. They treat you like equals, you know. That's my boy right there. They don't really care, you know. They got black friends, Asian friends, you know, foreign friends like that. But like I said in the beginning, you know, it's kind of like who you're around. You know, all the sports players in this school, it's a high majority of them, especially basketball, football, are like usually black kids or other racial kids. So I mean, that's the first group you'll start off with, because you come here in summer school and that's your initial contact with like your first college group. And then from there, you'll meet other people that are like, oh, you play basketball, so that's cool.
In terms of race, it's crazy, because some people try to ignore the fact that there is racism still alive and still around, and I think that's just ignorant. You know, if you wanna pretend something's not there, I think that makes it worse. But I definitely have seen things here that are really crazy to me, just how people act and pretend it doesn't happen. So race, yeah, I mean, as much as people want to say it doesn't happen, it happens every day. And I mean, I could give examples, but I don't even know. An example, like talking to a female, like, okay, my mom is white, my dad is black. Being from up north, I don't see a problem in talking to a white girl, okay? And a lot of other people here have problems with that. Even that girl's parents might have a problem with that. And me, personally, that's crazy to me. Like, I've never dealt with something like that until I came down here. And it sucks. Like, you want to say something out loud, but then you look like the bad guy. Then you look like, you know, you're out of your mind and stuff like that. And that goes back into, you know, your social life as an African-American student and athlete.
Oh, not for me. To an extent, yes. I've came across sometimes where it's like, I know where I'm not wanted or stuff like that. But as far as like meeting people in and out of stuff, it's not hard for me, because me as a person, like, I'm able to adapt to a lot of situations because I've moved a lot around in my life. So meeting new people is not a hard thing for me. I love meeting new people, so it's just really easy.
just emulated. And I feel like at our school, being like a good football player doesn't really mean anything to most of the people on this campus. And when I went to college, I didn't think it would be anything like that at all. I thought it would be high school escalated to another level where I'm even more of a celebrity for being athletic and being on the football team. But here, it's almost like people look down on you and like just decide to separate you for being a college athlete instead of inviting you to places and being more friendly with you.
Coming to Wofford, I kind of quickly realized, before even coming here, I realized that it would be somewhat of a disconnect between myself and my peers. The percentages of minorities compared to whites kind of tell you that like there was going to be a disconnect somewhere.
You see factions around the school amongst like these black kids, these white kids, but then it even breaks down into like I said before, you see factions amongst the sports, like tennis kids hang out or the golf kids hang out and stuff like that. So, you know, being involved in every student and athlete's life. Not just to say because, you know, you're a really good player in your sport, you know, they're more involved. They do a very good job of distributing equally, you know, attention amongst everybody on the court. Probably on the field, I can't really say for y'all, but like, it doesn't matter if you don't play, it doesn't matter if you do play. Everybody has a chance, you know, to get on a radio show because, I mean, it just makes you feel good to have that experience instead of, you know, watching one or two players always get spotlighted. So, and then even like the upper people in the offices, like the ADs, the people like that, they recognize people that don't really play as well, or, you know, and they do a great job of recognizing people that do, you know, get special accolades and all that. It's not like that matters, but I guess my connectedness with the school is I feel like, you know, people in the school see me as like a role model, you know, for younger people, especially my sport. And I guess the overall involvement of those people is very high.
I feel like a little disconnected from some of the other things that go on here, which to me is fine because I'm trying to do, you know, play a sport that I love and get on top of that, get my education, which they're providing for me.
I wanted a more diverse school, more students, more specifically, I wanted to be surrounded by more people that look like me. And in the end, I went against what I said, and I came here, and it's not very diverse, but I feel like as a whole, most of the community is really welcoming and friendly, and I just felt at home, even though there aren't tons of people.
But like you just walking around campus and then you see some girl, just because you're in a hoodie or something, they're running away from you, but you're like, I've seen you 1,000 times, but then they think we're rude because we're loud or whatever, being athletes, like African Americans, they think all of us are loud and stuff like that. And it's just annoying because like none of them really take a chance to get to know you. Like I met a lot of great people here, but then there's still a lot of people that just want to give you the time of day just because you're a black student athlete or just black period. And I've talked to countless just African American students who aren't athletes here, and they've been come up to like, oh, what sport do you play automatically just because they're black and they go to Wofford? And I don't think that's right. Just because they're black doesn't mean they got to play a sport here. They can just be here for their education.
I don't really know exactly what it is about this campus, but there's something about it that creates some type of automatic division between athletes and non-athletes, and a lot of people, I think, feel scared to cross that border.
And I don't want to call other people regular students, but I guess they are regular students. I don't think they realize how difficult it is, and I think they think we have it easy, when in reality I think it's maybe 2 times as hard, because along with having to go and work our butts off on the court, we also have to work our butts off in the classroom and keep our grades up in order for us to be able to participate in our sports and stuff.
Clap along if you feel like a